Welcome back. This is Morris Dimba, and we are still continuing with adding more connection on the cable side of this particular cable truss. So this is part 10, and cable side where we're adding more connection between the tie beams and the bracing, the vertical bracing. So you can see at the far end here we have the end plate that we had created manually. So I want to apply the same connection here, all over here. So on the previous part, I had tried to clone, but only a few parts accepted that tool or accepted that workflow. So let me just turn this round. You can see we have the connection the far end here. So what I'm going to apply, I'm going to define another workflow here, but that you can use or apply when you're confronted with this particular kind of situation. So we had created this. So we want to copy this connection here. And prior to doing this, we have to modify or we have to fit this this beam or trim off the extended parts that have gone or straight into the center or into this particular column. So we have to trim this by using a fitting tool. So I'll come to edit here and pick on cut and pick the fitting tool there. So I'll pick the part I want to cut and the surface I want to trim it to. I want to trim it to that surface. And right click and come to this joint. Then once I left click on that, I'll right click and hold and turn it like that. So I want to trim this this one to the surface here, or fit it to the surface of this particular column. So I'll come to cut, then pick fitting command there. Then I want to cut this to fit and cut it and fit it on that surface. So the trick I'm going to apply here, I want to copy this plate, right click and come to copy. I want to copy it from the bottom end here. So let me just zoom close and I want to snap right at the bottom here, right at the bottom end here, and then snap on that spot and come here and place it right on the same spot. Right click and come to the top end here. You can see we have the plate inside here, but you can see the part of this particular beam has extruded or has extended inside the plate, but that should not worry you. I want just to show you another workflow we can apply in here. So if I come this far end here, you can see I have the same scenario here. I have a plate and the beam extending inside the plate. So I want to copy this plate using the same approach. So the moment I select the plate, I'll come here and right click and come to copy, and I want to copy it from the bottom end here. The same way I had done on the previous one. So let me just snap at the bottom end here. Just make sure your snapping is accurate, because if it doesn't happen accurately, it might affect this workflow. So let me just snap here. So let me just zoom closer, and I've placed that end plate here. So you can see I have the end plate here and the end plate here. So once I've done this, I want to trim it off. I want to trim this part off. I want to trim this beam, and I want to fit this beam to this particular end plate and apply the same to the other end. So I'll come back to cut tool. Then we have under cut tool, we have so many tools here. So I want to use a fitting tool here. So I want to fit this beam to this plate. So you can see that has been done. And if I come here and select my point of interest and right click and hold and turn my mouse like that, I want to fit this beam to that plate. I'll come to cut tool there and pick on fitting, and I want to fit this to the plate. Right click, and to confirm whether this is an assembly, select any part of this, right click and come to select assembly, and you'll be able to see this is an assembly. Show selected, show only selected. You can see this is an assembly. You can see that this will be an assembly. So that's how you can maneuver and create such components. So right click and come to show all, and that's how you can do it. So let's clone this connection to the rest of our cable side. So once we are done with this side, we'll mirror this to the other end so that we don't go ahead back and forth repeating the same thing. So I want to clone these two. I want to clone this connection. So I'll select the connection here, including the joint here. This snap here, this is the joint. So I'll deselect that member and come to IntelliClone. So I'll come to clone all. If I click on clone all, you'll be able to see there are 27 unconnected joints found in this particular model. So this will be applied to the rest of this connection. So I'll come here and click proceed to apply the same connection to similar type of joint. So if I zoom out, you'll be able to see this has been applied here, and this has been applied here, and on top here has been applied everywhere here. You can see that. You can see that also here. You can see that. You can see that. So you'll notice that only this side has been applied, but on the other end, this side has not been applied. So this will work if we define the rules here that will apply to the other sides of the column connection between the column and the tie beams. Now, let me first of all highlight that, deselect the parts I don't want to include in that clone, and I'll clone that. So if I come here and click apply, I'll be able to see 27 again. I'll go ahead and click proceed and give it some time to apply the connection. This has been created and that has been created. But we have a similar issue here where the plate has not properly fitted on the plate. But still, it's not an issue that can be customized or be trimmed off. But as long as it is an assembly, if you select an assembly, we can see we have an assembly. If we show only selected, we can see we have that in place. But we can always trim that. We can come to edit, and if we come to cut and pick fitting, we can fit this to that end. So you can see that has been fitted. So that can always be done accurately. So let me just right click and show all. So you can see the connection has been done all over, and the trimming or fitting can be done later on. And now if we come at the bottom end here, we can place our base plates. To fit the base plates here is very simple. We'll come to base plate and pick on the base plate and select on that, and select on this. We can place the base plate right there, select on that, and we have our base plate right in the place. So if I select on that and select on this also, we can have that. But you can see there's a slight protrusion on the other end. So on this particular side, we can get rid of this particular end. We can just modify the base plate so that it can fit well. But that one can be, I think you can do that by yourself, because I've showed you how you can maneuver your way on how to customize any joint in Comosys. So you can see this. So here, the next step will go to creating the vertical bracing. So you can see we've created the joint between the tie beams and the columns. So you can turn, if I turn that around, you can be able to see this has been created by cloning the connection that we had created manually. So let's begin then on the next presentation, where I'll show you briefly on how we can create the vertical bracings on the gable side of this particular curved truss. This curved truss, majorly they're used on huge storage or go downs or cement industry, where you can store raw materials. So it offers a huge working area. So let's meet then on the now presentation on how we can create the vertical bracings on the gable side. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This is Maurice Dimba, and let's meet then.